Hello and welcome to the About Ewe channel. My name is Madeleine and I'm your host for today. Thank you very much for joining me in my yarny corner of the internet. If you are a new viewer, a very warm welcome to you, and if you are a returning viewer, very happy to have you back here. This is a channel video podcast about knitting. I crochet this week and occasionally sewing, and I'm coming to you today from my home in Canberra, Australia, and it is the Friday the 18th of September 2020. Wow, well, this is round 2 of recording this episode. Actually, I've recorded on Friday, but my memory was full, and then when the video file came across, it had no audio, no video, and then the second one wouldn't copy at all. So I've taken today off work as a mental health day, and I need to turn my iron off. Hello and welcome to episode number 28 of the About Ewe podcast. My name is Madeleine and I'm your host for today. I'm coming to you from my home in Canberra, Australia, and it is Friday the 18th of September 2020. If you are a new viewer, very warm welcome to my channel, and if you are a returning viewer, I really appreciate you coming back to watch the latest installment of my crafty life. I have actually got some notes today to tell you, to tell me what to tell you, because this is the second time I've recorded this episode. The last time recorded without any video, so I had lots of audio to work with and no video, so that wasn't more than helpful at all. So anyway, this is round 2, 5 days later, so I've actually got a little bit more progress on some of my some of my works in progress to show you. I've got some future projects to talk about. I've got what else have I got? A bit of like reorganizing, which I was doing before the home edit was released on Netflix, but also will recommend that. And a few, I guess, recommendations and a blather section. So yeah, let's start with works in progress. I have 2 active whips, but I did just find another one, so I might let's start with this one. It's gonna be really rustly, I'm sorry, dug out of in my tidying spell. So this is a pair of socks that I was knitting last year, 2 at a time. It's Knitpicks Felici yarn. I couldn't tell you the colorway, to be honest. I have no idea, but I'm fairly sure these are ready for a heel. So I've got a few things I'd like to finish up in the next little while, and I'm kind of really craving a new pair of hand knit socks to wear. So I think I will get the heel put into these. I've got to decide. I'm probably going to do a fish lips kiss heel just because of the self striping in the yarn. I'm not a massive fan of the heel flat and gusset in self striping, but I might actually consult my yarn, my jar of scraps or leftovers, and I might actually be able to do a contrasting fish lips kiss heel, which could be fun. So yeah, I'm hoping to have these as a finished object by the end of the year, which is 3 months away, so surely that's plenty of time for me to get my act together and work on those. My next work in progress is my Fantastitch. So this is the Fantastitch shawl by Stephen West, or Westknits on Ravelry. I've spoken about it every time, but that's the pattern here. And I mentioned it last time, I'm going to make the small size. So I'm in this section here, and this is the large version, and I'll miss this section, which is like that honeycomby section, which I really actually quite like, but I just know for me personally, I'm not going to need such a large shawl. So here it is. and I've got quite a bit of work done on it this week. So, I don't know, I'm hoping you can see all of that. So this is a La Bien-Aimée kit. It's the rainbow kit, which is just only slightly different to the original that Stephen used. So Yellow Brick Road, Vespa, Madeleine, Rust, Fluoro Morganite, Isle of Arran, and Anemone is this really soft purple here, which you can see better in that section there. And I would say I'm about 50% of the way done. I think this was called section 11, maybe 8. Oh, I know that's very different. But this is diagonal rib. It hasn't really taken place. It kind of looks like I've buggered up moss stitch a little bit, but I think I can kind of see the diagonals coming across like that. So yeah, this has been really fun. I wouldn't say there's been really any new techniques other than this kind of slip pattern here, and I've never done diagonal ribbing before. Everything else is kind of pretty straightforward. I will say that if you, well, actually, you know what, most people haven't had issues, and I've had to reach out for help once and then nearly killed me to figure out this bit. Make sure you read the pattern repeat, like the pattern instructions for the repeat. I don't want to talk about it because it's a painful pattern, but oh my word. I was not very smart about a week ago. I did it the second last row in that section about 4 times. Did it, pulled it out. I just couldn't get the stitch count right. It was just slightly off center, wasn't working at all. And then eventually I figured it out. So I just was like at my wit's end at about 10 o'clock one night, and I just reread the pattern, and it was like, okay, read the pattern and the punctuation, particularly if it's like an interesting part such as that. So anyway, that's my fan to stitch. I'm really enjoying it though. It's been a fun knit, and I'm hoping to get it done this year. Would be nice to finish it. So my next project, or my next work in progress, is actually a crochet project, and I think I might have mentioned it before and I've shown off the wool, but I'm making the Georgina Hippo, which is by Tote, Kerry Lord, and it's in the Edwards Menagerie book, the first one I think. And I really like the hippo because I think she's a great, she's pretty cute. And what I really like about these patterns is each of the animals comes with a little backstory. So Georgina is a princess among hippos, despite her PhD in something very scientific, with a title that has an acronym longer than her name. Her brain feels most tested when she's trying out the latest nail art technique on a Friday night. An evening in with takeaway sushi and a reality TV is her perfect antidote to a stressful week in the office. She is fiercely loyal, a friend to everyone, and with never a whine, moan or grumble, she is by far one of the most positive animals around the watering hole. So, this little Georgina is being made for my friends Joel and Kat, who had their baby Elkie a week ago today. So, little baby girl, and her name's Elkie Lane, and I got to meet her on Wednesday night, I think, maybe Tuesday. I popped over just for a little visit, a big cuddle. She is absolutely gorgeous. And so this is what I've got for her. So when I make toys like this, I find myself, when all the little pieces before they've had the ends woven in or whatnot, I like to keep them on a needle, like a cable needle holder. Sorry, whatever it's called. It's a knitting implement, obviously. So I have an ear, only one. I made this one this morning. This is the head. And I had to Google because I was really confused by the instructions. But once it's stuffed, I know how this will work. This is the body. And what I really like about the Toft animals is if you can see this body shape, I think. So there's always like the tummy, and when they're all put together, if you put the legs on right, the tummy's at the front, and it kind of helps it balance so that once it's all stuffed, it'll just sit really nicely. and then the heads fit on top like that too. So I will probably have gifted this before I record another episode, so I will definitely record a little video of it once it's finished. This is my third Toft and or Kerry Lord Edwards Menagerie animal. I made one for this baby's older brother. I made the polar bear. I've made the elephant for my friend Annie's baby, and then this is a little tail. I don't think I've read the instructions right, but it's kind of cute. If it is right, I'll have to have a little bit of a look online, but yeah, that's kind of the only things I've been working on. This baby wasn't due until next week, so I thought I had a little bit of time, and then she surprised everyone 2 weeks early, so it's just the sweetest little thing. And I've only used, that was one ball of yarn, and I'm using Morris & Sons Estate in the 10 ply this time, and the colourway is Greystone. So I reckon I can probably do, I've just got to do 4 legs and another ear and then put it all together. So probably only took 2 balls of yarn, which means I've got 2 left over, and there is another animal in there that I wouldn't mind making. And I'm just think, because I've been caught out twice now, I'm going to probably make myself a little collection of stuffies, and I'll give them out if and when appropriate. And I only do it for baby gifts for my close friends who are having babies. So that is all for my work in progress. On to future projects. So this week, Stephen West of Westknits, also designer of Fantastitch, announced his, well, last week actually, he announced his 2020 mystery knit along. And so this year is called the slipstravaganza. Basically, it's like slip, stitch, and extravaganza mushed up together. And I actually he offered some Zoom calls on Sunday, and it was €10, so like 20 bucks I think. And I always get a little bit concerned by mystery knit alongs, because what if you don't like the end product? Stephen's patterns are a little bit out there, shall we say, occasionally. And anyway, I just wasn't sure if I wanted to do it or not, but I decided that so I listened, and during the talk or the Zoom presentation, I basically was just like running between my lounge room and here, pulling all of the yarns out of this little box here, and all on my lounge room floor. If I remember, I might insert a picture because it was a bit of chaos at one point. But anyhow, the instructions for this mystery knit along is that you need 5 skeins total, 2 of the same, and then 3 contrast colors. So originally, actually, I had thought the only 2 skeins I had that are the same that weren't spoken for were these 2 by Pirate Pearl Yarns. That's upside down, isn't it? So I was like, okay, what can I do that's grey? And you need pops of colour. So originally I pulled out this one, which is a Primrose Yarn Company. This one here, which is Undercover Otter. And I pulled out, I think, this one. This one here. So altogether it would have been like that. And that was my first pick for a long time. I had a few different combos that I pulled out, but that was it. And then I went into this little section here, is my yarns that have a project or a spoken for. And I had an eyeball shawl that I had put together in that little section. I'm going to pull that out because I need this one for later. Sorry, I really should have thought about that before I started. Anyhow, so I didn't want to pull away yarn that had already kind of been bagged up together, but I thought that was a bit bright. So I pulled out the eyeball shawl, and in there I found these 2 here. And so realistically, like, the only 2 skeins I have that are the same are these 2 grey ones, these ones here, these green ones, and then there's some dark blue ones as well. So I pull these out, and then if you like look through, there's speckles of yellow, and there's pink and purple, and some really dark speckles like in this little bit here. So I prepared myself to use these for not an eyeball shawl. So I pulled these out, and then I grabbed, oh, this was supposed to be the iris in my eyeball shawl. So I pulled that one out as well. And then I really wanted to use this. It's called Cameron. It's Undercover Otter, which I bought at Stephen and Penelope. And then I pulled out this mustard, which is called Harvest, and it's Life in the Long Grass. So if you were watching last year when I did my yarn tour of Europe, which was really just France, the Netherlands and London, or the UK, I picked up all of these yarns on my trip. So Stephen and Penelope, Stephen and Penelope, Stephen and Penelope, plus this one from Loop London. So the Mystery Knit Along starts on the 9th of October. Gosh, it's September already. 9th of October, which I think I returned from my trip on the 10th. And last year was a pretty big and messed up year for me personally. So I just kind of thought, it starts on the 9th. I bought all of this yarn on that trip, which was such a nice kind of restorative time and a bit of a break. And I just planned that holiday and did exactly what I wanted to do in that time. So I kind of think I have to do this Mystery Knit Along. There is a thread on Ravelry, which you can look up if you're using Ravelry at the moment. And I put a photo of my color combinations up there, and Barbara, who is like one of Stephen West's besties, liked it and said, I put both color combinations up, and she said that the top one's the way to go. She was like, that's a winner, or something along those lines. So I loved that comment, and I was like, well, if anyone's going to have seen the shawl, it will be her, even though Stephen doesn't really show anyone. And if she thinks it's a winner, then I'm sold and I'm going to do it. So that's that. I didn't really mean to talk about it for 5 minutes. However, I did. I'm excited. I'll scan up those yarns, and I probably will have recorded hopefully before the next episode, before the Mystery Knit Along starts. So I guess like this is, into acquisitions now. So a couple months ago, I bought this yarn here for a Stone Crop Cardi by Andrew Mary, and it's Knit Craft and Knittery. I bought it with a gift voucher. And so Skein Sisters, which is my Sydney local yarn shop, posted on the Instagram maybe like a month ago, 3 weeks ago, that Spin Cycle was back in stock. So they sold out very, very quickly, and I managed to grab these 2 yarns here, which I quite like, but I just don't, I think there's going to be too much similarity between this color and that. Like, I just don't know that there's going to be massive pops of color, so I will swatch. But then I was thinking of actually pulling out my Sippler, the yarn I'd put aside for a Sippler, and making that, using that black as the main color, and this is the pops of color. So I like, it might be the way to go. I will always find something, a jumper or a cardigan to make in those colors, or like a nice shawl or something, so the yarn won't go to waste. I've shown you that. Oh, okay, acquisitions. So quite a long time ago, maybe like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, my Maker tote arrived. So hand sanitizer in times of COVID. Go in there. So this is the Maker tote. I pre-ordered this, oh gosh, back in May maybe. It is a faux leather bag, I think. I can't exactly remember, but it's a crafting bag. So it comes with this insert here, which is like got room for crochet hooks, needles, or whatever. I've actually not used it for crafting. I've used it as a handbag because I quite like it. It also comes with like another insert here, which is clipped in at the moment with some stuff in there, and a carry handle, like an over-the-shoulder handle for the small bag, which can also be used on this bag. So that was really good. I've been quite happy with that. So I'll link far out words. I'll link the Maker Store. I think it might be an Etsy or a website. I'll pop a link to that below. I'm just myself. I usually sit in a cushion, but today I'm sitting on a yoga brick because my posture's been really bad lately and I've been having some lower back pain. Not that you care about that. And then something else I bought recently, which I don't know if they shop internationally, but for my Aussie viewers, not bought for a knitting bag, but also I just wanted a neoprene bag. This bag is by the brand Olivia Jean, and it's kind of cool because my cousin's name's Olivia Jean. So yeah, so I actually bought two. I've got a pink one, which is going to sit in the back of my car with gym gear, beach gear and whatever. And then this one here is just going to be for everyday use and taking to work, study, whatever. So done a massive cleaner of my apartment because I am moving at the end of the year. And one of the things I found was my box of crochet baubles. So I just thought I would pop this in here. I've had it hanging on my like the bottom of my ball winder, but it does come off a little bit, but I probably should just put it in the box with the others. So I made these out of just like crochet cotton. I think it's Debbie Bliss, maybe or drops. No, it's drops. And I bought it many years ago, and I'm actually going to pop the bag of this on my Ravelry de-stash thread because I'm not going to make any more of these. They were fun to make. I've got about 12, and kind of think like whilst I like them, that ship's kind of sailed for me and I am trying to get rid of stuff. So I'll pop that on my de-stash. If no one wants it, I'll find a local knitting group and drop it off to them. So that's that one. I reorganized my knitting patterns, so all my printed patterns, I might just adjust the camera slightly, so are in these big binders here, and so I've got mostly all knitting in this one, and then this one's like knitting, sewing, crochet, and then there's like my books and stuff over there. So that was good because I just had like, I guess Americans call them bins, but I had like these clear plastic tubs I got from Costco, and they were just like had full of random stuff. So I've consolidated, taken a whole like about this much stuff to work and shredded it, just like old tax stuff that I had from like 2007. Really need to keep tax records for 5 years, and I had stuff from God like 13 years ago, so that all went. So that's really handy. And yeah, if you are on Ravelry and you're in Australia, I would highly recommend checking out the Australian Knitters Ravelry group. They have lots of different threads on there, but the one I like in particular is the Ravelry de-stash thread because you can find heaps of yarn at reduced prices that people don't have space for anymore. And I've sold quite a bit of stuff on there, not usually like to make not to make a profit obviously, and you do charge less than what you bought it for, but it's nice to get rid of stuff and actually get a little bit more money to play with back. And some of the yarns I've got through that de-stash is like this Chili Knits here, the Primrose I showed before. These little ones here are Kate Celine, which I probably would never have bought from the UK, but managed to get it. I got my La Bien-Aimée, which I don't think you're going to be able to see from here. Some La Bien-Aimée I bought. Oh God, I'm sorry. I hope no one gets vertigo. All this moving around. Anyway, that's if you are using the Ravelry platform at the moment, that's something to look at. I guess into blather, or what I've been up to. So, I don't really know how to start with this. I guess, okay, today's a Friday and I would usually be at work, but I have taken today off as a day of leave because I needed a mental health day. Just been feeling super flat, and I think that's probably not uncommon for a lot of people around the world at the moment, but it's been a very big kind of 18 months for me personally. And if you want to know more about it, the last one I did of last year, when I'm wearing my soldotna crop, check that one out. But essentially, I have some big changes. I can't announce it yet because I haven't, so I am like, what's it called? Like carrot dangling. But I can give you most of the information. I just can't say everything because it hasn't been confirmed yet. But I will be moving at the end of the year, and I'll be moving closer to my family, which is excellent. And I've made that decision for lots of reasons, and probably next podcast. I think like work-wise it'll get released today, but it isn't yet, and I don't really know. So probably next episode. But essentially I will probably have a little bit more time for crafting in general and then the podcast. So I'm going to look at a more permanent schedule, which I know I said this year, and I was doing really well until probably June, and then my mental health really went not so great, and COVID just made everything really overwhelming, and life sucks sometimes, but I am on the up and I'm good now. I'm really looking to professionalize this a little bit, so I would like to do a new intro video, probably like get a logo made, and yeah, have a better schedule. If you have any recommendations of things you do and don't like to watch in a podcast, please feel free to comment below. I don't want to monetize this or anything. It's not why I'm doing it. I just kind of think it's been 3 years now. I'm only at episode 28 in 3 years, so that's not a great average, but anyhow, that is the reality, and that's my life. And I mean, I spent 11 of 12 months not in Australia last year, so fun times. Yeah, tonight I'm going to the movies with a friend because the movies are opening up. It's really spaced out and there's not a lot of tickets available, but we're going to go have sushi train and then go to the movies, so that will be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going out for lunch with some friends tomorrow as well, and yeah, I just really need to get these projects finished so that I can be guilt-free on the 9th of October for this mystery knit along. I do not believe that I will finish in the month. I think it's about 4 clues in 4 weeks, and I think Stephen said like maybe if you knit 3 hours a day you would finish in time, and I do not have time for that. Like, man, I barely knit an hour a week, so 3 hours a day is not going to happen, but I'm gonna hope that, yeah, I can get on with that a little bit. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I actually didn't say where you can find me online, which I usually do in the beginning. So if you want to find me online, so yeah, I did have a book recommendation for you, but I will save that for next time. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you when I see you. Bye. So yeah, I did have a book recommendation for you, but I will save that for next time. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.